Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, Two Piece Pod, episode, 15 now? We're on episode 15, that's crazy. This right here is my man, Phil. Go check him out, by the way. Got some music out, been in the music industry for about a year now. Been in the solar industry, owning his own business for a couple years, got out of that one. Still working, though, in that solar industry, which is good for him, installing. So let him know if you guys need that stuff done. And then also, been a National Guard for 6 years as well. So this episode was brought to you by Porterville Wholesale, I should say. If you want to go check him out, he's at 1902 West North Grand, or go check him out at my Facebook page, my Facebook group. You can go order online and not even have to worry about it. But if you're trying to get that backyard set up for the summer, because I know that's coming right around the corner, and I know you guys are going to be barbecuing for the friends, go check out those patio sets. Go check out the indoor-outdoor lighting. Go check out the fans. You can put it in the patio so everybody gets a little bit more comfortable, because you know it's about to be about 110 this summer, like every other dang summer. So go check that out. He's also got lawn equipment because everybody's got them weeds growing too. Actually, we're probably going to be all dead without watering, so maybe not going to need that as much. Rotaries, get those so you can grind up that dirt. But go check him out. He's got all the good stuff. Tell him 2P sent you. My boy Ray over there will take care of you. Okay? So welcome in, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
What's going on, guys?
So,
what do we got today?
So I figured we just jump into, basically, you were telling me that you started out in the National Guard, and you kind of went through your things, and this all hit you real quick after having a baby, right?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, I'm a father, and that's, kind of what started, father young, right out of high school. Mm-hmm. My son was born, so I had to, step up, and so I started working, and I went through many different jobs, but I had to stay busy because I gotta keep food on the table, and gotta keep the family together.
Definitely
be falling out. But gotta keep the money coming in. Keep the roof over your head. Gotta continue life. Life don't stop when you have a kid early.
Right.
You gotta still chase what you want and still be a dad because you are a parent. Still,
right. I was gonna say it probably speeds up even at that.
Yeah. Life goes by quick.
Because, even at the age I'm at now, I just had my first son, mm-hmm. But at the same time, we have two more kids other than that, but I had my first son, and everything just seems to be a lot faster. Like, time's going by a lot faster. The days are not as, as much time as I thought they really was, and I'm going, holy moly, like, I gotta do more in this little...
Because the time is so much more valuable now.
Yes.
So now it's like... Dang, like that. I just, I didn't do anything today.
Right.
Why didn't I do anything today? I could have did this, and this, and made these memories.
Right. Exactly.
Or put in the work to get to where I want to be in a year or 5 years or something.
Well, yes, and that's the hard part is it puts a lot of strain on the career paths that low key we both have kind of chosen in a sense, but because they're late night working.
Well, it's tough because like I said, you have that balance, and life doesn't stop because you have a kid. Yeah. So you want to still chase things that you're going after, but you also still want to be a good example. You still got to put on an image because people say oh, don't worry about your image, but no, you got to have respect for your kids and stuff too, because everything's out on the media now.
Yeah,
everything. There's cameras everywhere. You have to represent yourself accordingly.
Yeah, at least
and back to time being valuable. You just want to spend that time right. So you stress about those things when you're a parent and someone who's ambitious who wants to be great.
We'll see. And you were just telling me that you coach in football, doing all this and coaching football.
Yeah, I got my hobbies. I'm on the road to 10,000 hours. I'm trying to master my craft, a couple crafts. So I put in my hours there. And then I got my work schedule, and then I got my son's sports schedule.
Working your way up to being an NFL coach or what?
Heck no, man. I just
a lot of work.
I've been blessed, to say the least, to be able to coach my son. But I'd rather be a dad on the sidelines than a coach and have to. It's just another thing I have to worry about, but I'm glad that, like I said, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to give my son that experience that I didn't have when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just as far as sports-wise and stuff, but...
Heck yeah. And see, that's always cool because, like, I don't know, being a dad recently, since mine is only 6 months old, it brings back a lot of memories that hit me a lot different than I thought.
Right.
You know, like I remember all these things, but then when I think about them, it's almost like now I envision what I want to do with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. You know, you have those memories, and now you can kind of have an idea how you want his memories to be in a sense.
Yeah, you know, or just, because I don't know. It's like, I want to be the dad that kind of just, if you want to try to do that, I'm going to be 100% behind you and push you to do everything you can to do it. And I don't care what it is. If you feel like that's what you want, we going to make it happen, Captain. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, I feel you, definitely. I feel like my relationship with my pops, you know, in some areas was very one-sided. And I just, like, I don't want that for my son. So I would just am trying to push the whole, you know, I'm with you 100%. Whatever you want to, you know, strive for, whatever you want to be. But I also, like, want to be able to communicate both ways. Like, hey, you know, if you're messing up, I want you to be able to take this, you know, take it with a grain of salt, of course, but also, you know that it's coming from a good place. You know, I might be calling you out on your, you know, your stuff, but know that I'm doing it because I'm trying to get you better, not because I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to show you that I love you. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's huge, and you're right, because it was so hard. Even for, I think you got to realize too, is like my dad was kind of the same way. He was a little bit one-sided, and the whole thing about it wasn't that he wanted anything bad. He saw the world for what it was when he was growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when they were growing up, you got to realize, like, I don't know about your dad, but my dad, was born in 56, 55?
Yeah, my dad was older too. My dad was born in 58.
So yeah, so they went through some shit.
Yeah,
you know what
definitely.
I mean?
Yeah.
And especially their parents. Think about what their parents are all going through. So what they grew up living like, I feel like, is kind of like an older style, and that's what they portrayed kind of toward, well, at least my dad portrayed toward me, and it's starting to just, hey, you need to work and make a living for your family.
Yeah.
In a sense.
My dad definitely did, but my dad spent all of his money on me, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
I didn't have a college fund because my dad spent that on. I raced when I was little. I raced when I was 4 to like 14, and then I got into sports.
You raced?
Motorsport. Yeah, I was like go-kart. Well, they were called quarter midgets, but they're like similar to go-karts.
Yeah.
But we just raced on an oval track.
Was that the one out here in town by like...
No, I did race one season out here in town, but I moved on after that season.
Yeah?
Just wasn't... You know, nothing against Bakersfield racing, but it was just like the competition wasn't there.
Yeah.
To prepare what I was using because I was traveling all over.
Was it a dirt track?
Bakersfield, yeah. When I came and raced here for 1 year, I raced at the Bakersfield Speedway.
Okay.
But it was fun. You know, I went out and raced, won the championship that year, and then went the sprint cars, and then that was like towards the end of my racing career. But I always love racing. I always have a passion for getting behind the wheel and going fast, man. I love it. Strapping in, that's like the best feeling ever. Is like pushing a car,
pushing the limit, huh?
Pushing the car to a limit, and just, you know, being strapped in. You know,
yeah.
I have friends who, you know, did motocross and stuff and speedway. You know, shout out the Sauer brothers. Yeah. But yeah, you know, my mom was always like, "Oh, you can't ride dirt bikes. You can't ride dirt bikes." Yeah, but she would let me go balls to the wall in a freaking quarter midget, just because I had a roll cage around me. So dude, they used to call me Flippin' Phillips, dude.
Flippin' Phillips.
Yeah, because I think I rolled my car probably like 20 different occasions throughout like 4 to 13, but still, that's a lot. That's like that's more than once a year.
Yeah, that's.
But dude, I had like 7 championships. I did all right, but like there was definitely it was a good competition. I had good competition. Like Alex Bowman, he races in NASCAR now.
Wow.
I raced with him maybe like 2 races, but he was a little bit older than me. He raced against one of my. I was friends with the family called the Galanis, and they raced throughout, you know, their lives. But their older brother raced with Alex Bowman mostly, and I just got raced with like twice. But I was on the track with him. I saw him race and stuff, and he's they're good people.
Yeah.
another family, Justin Peck.
Okay.
But he races World Outlaws now. Sprint cars.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow,
it was good competition. Like we traveled, we went to, Indianapolis Speedway, and they had an event there, a national race there, and we raced there. We raced in Kansas, Las Vegas. So we were traveling. That was like when I said my dad spent his money on me, he spent his money on me.
Yeah.
Like that's what we did. We were fully invested in my racing.
Yeah.
It was, shout out to my brother too, because he did not like racing.
No.
And he was there every weekend with me. We were
Just
somewhere out of
you.
town. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother, he's got a story on his own, man. He was forced to race. Then he had forced to watch me race, and then he becomes a full-blown Christian sophomore year, just completely like no one. I mean, we were a faithful family. Like we went to church and stuff when I was younger. Did church camp and stuff, but it was never like. No one invested into it like my brother did, and now he's a preacher and he's off getting his master's right now over in Louisiana, and he was a pastor at Valley Baptist down the street.
Yeah.
For the children's ministry, and then he went off to get his master's right now. So
dang, congrats.
Yeah. He's been a pastor for. He got ordained probably like 3 years ago.
Dang.
So, yeah, he's putting on for the fam right now. First one to graduate from college. Shout out to you, bro. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get mine soon enough.
There you go.
Enough. Now that I get my GI Bill and stuff.
Right.
Start
so
looking that way.
Did all the racing, and then you said up until 14.
Yeah, up till high school.
So just coming out here and racing 1 year is what made you quit.
No. So got raced there. In town.
Mm-hmm.
Then I raced about a year and a half up like in Visalia up north, Central California. I was racing sprint cars, but it was more expensive, and my parents were going through a divorce my freshman year, so it was harder to get out to the track. I had my grandpa. My grandpa was getting older, and my grandpa he was actually like the man why we raced. My grandpa used to build front chassis and do the front ends for Richard Petty.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was working up in Washington, up in their shop, and did work for them and Richard Childress. But so became my dad's side of the family was a racing family.
Yeah.
Anyways, so my grandpa was getting older, and it was just getting harder, and I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna play football. All my buddies are playing football. I've always played sports, so I was like, screw it, go play football.
I'm gonna play football.
Yeah, I do something, because I'm so used to doing, being so busy. Yes. So, but then that came the girls, and hanging out and doing crazy stuff with the boys, and being
I definitely
know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Being a freshman boy.
Then you have a baby. After that, you said you had a baby at...
Senior year, right when I graduated.
That's crazy.
So I graduated beginning of June. My son, Lil Phil, was born June 16th. So right like 2 weeks after high school.
Ooh. And how old are you now?
24.
Dang.
24.
Grandpa, geez.
I know, dude. Time goes by quick. We were just talking about that.
So he's still young.
Yeah, he'll be 7 this year.
That's so crazy.
It really is. It
went by fast, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so when you went to boot camp for the National Guard, you were telling me about that. How long was the boot camp?
So my basic training, Army National Guard. So you go to Army basic training, which is about 11 weeks. Mm-hmm. Then I had my job training. I was an 88 mile motor transport operator, and that was, don't quote me on this. I think it was only like 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So for a total, I was gone for a little bit over 3 months. So it wasn't bad at all.
No.
I was like, I can do 3 months. Sounds bad. I can do 3 months without my son. I'll know. I'm out here doing something. Out here for a purpose. Came home. Didn't spend no money for 3 months, and I got paid just stacking up. So I thought I was balling. I came home and I got like half of my bonus too. So came home to almost like 20 G's, and I thought I was some shit. And then
what's happening?
Yeah, and then life just hits quick, man. So then that's when my dad wanted to start that business with me. I'm gonna start Shine Bright Solar. There's a solar cleaning company.
Okay.
So my dad pitched the idea to me. He pitched it to me a couple days before I graduated from AIT. So I was still in my dorm. And I was like, yeah, so, you know, I lost my job, but they, you know, gave me some money to play with. He didn't really tell me what it was at first. And I was like, he's like, but I want to start a business. Like, do you want, like, he's like, how much money, like, do you need, like, each month? So my dad was actually, as I was starting a business, my dad was pretty much saying, like, how much money do you need to survive? Because I want to start this business and, like, I need you to help me run it, pretty much. He's like, I need someone who's invested in it. So he was like, I'll give you, like, a salary, pretty much. And I was like, shoot, all right. Like, I'm down to, like, you know, grind it. I've never ran a business. I'm down to learn. If you're down to invest and, like, you know, pay my, you know, my bills, my car insurance, my car payment, you know, all that stuff. Cause, you know, and I have a kid, you know, because, like, I have to have money coming in. I can't just be like, oh, let's start a business and
and I'm done.
Yeah, like I don't have money like that to just do
To play with.
You know,
you're right.
So my dad, like, understood that, and I think it was like $1,500 a month. I was making it work, which was hard, honestly. That was pretty hard. But I wasn't paying rent though. I went back to mom's house, and we had a 4-bedroom house. So, like, I moved my baby mama at the time. I should say my girlfriend at the time. And, yeah, you know, we were a family at a point, and so like we were all living, you know, at my mom's house and making it work. So I was making $1,500 a month work, and she was working too. So, like, it was feasible.
A little bit more.
And she was supporting me through the whole thing, you know, and it was cool. So we started that venture, and then we ran it for, you know, it wasn't a year. It was about like 10, 11 months. But my dad was kind of like, he was ready to retire, but he wanted to do something with the money that he got to play with. But my dad was, like, drinking early in the mornings, and me and him were butting heads because of it. I'd come over ready to work, and, you know, you're having, you know, brandy with your coffee and stuff. So I was like, dude, come on, man. So we butt heads, and it got to the point where he packed up his trailer and just took off one night. And I go to work the next day, and the trailer's gone. I'm like, dude, where's my dad? And then stepmom didn't know where my dad went. Just took off. And I was like, what the heck? You know, like, had to call my buddies, had to, like, hey, you know, can you work with me today? You know, like, you know, like, so I started putting, like, you know, I was putting my friends to come, like, hey, bro, like, I'll pay you, like, please come help me with this job, like, and so, like, some of my friends, like, started working for me and stuff, and it was cool. Like, I had a lot of friends, like, that supported me, and they actually came out and did a great job, you know, and, like, helped represent, you know, what I was working towards. So it was really cool, and I had a lot of people in town support me too. Dang, so it was a great adventure. And then, so I was running it, but I could only do that for a couple months by myself. So had some friends point me in the right direction, and I got a business partner, and we ran that, did a great job. And then it was about a year and a half we ran it, roughly, and then it got slow, and then me and him kind of had a falling out, and he moved to a different city a couple hours away, and
just like out of nowhere.
Yeah, man. So, like, work got slow, and then he got a job opportunity somewhere else, and he kind of, like, didn't really know how to break it to me, like, that he got a job opportunity, like, didn't, and I was just like, all right, bro, like, we had a partnership agreement, you know, so I was like, dude, look, you know, you've been gone for, like, a month and a half, like, you violated the partnership agreement, so, like, you know, sorry, like, I guess we're done, I guess. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like a marriage, you know? Yeah. It's like, sorry, dude, but, like, you left me, you know? Like, but,
no, for real, it's
anyway, so, like, you know, he leaves, and I'm just like, all right, you know, I'm trying to run this business by myself. It was slow, and this was, you know, it was probably, like, only, like, a month, so he was gone for about a month and a half, and then probably, like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after that, I got in some trouble, and, you know, just some legal trouble, and I had to cough up some money. I needed some money, so I ended up selling the customers I had to another business that was in the same industry, and I, you know, made it work after that. And because I was trying to go commercial, and they were like my residential clients. Yeah. So, and I knew the commercial season was kind of like seasonal. Yeah. So it was like more summer. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna get another job until that starts picking up again. So I sold those customers. I got by with, you know, what I was going through, and I started working at Starbucks, dude. So I went from owning my own business to working at Starbucks for like $12 an hour. And I'm not a big Starbucks drinker. So, like, going there and like learning all these different coffees and like different like lattes and frappuccinos and refreshers and stuff, dude, it was crazy. And I was just like, all right, I was, I had to go and like market myself for the business. So like I liked, serving people. I like customer service. So I was like, all right, I can do this, just whatever. But like learning all this stuff was like, dang, dude, I don't even like this stuff. So like couldn't get behind it very much. Anyway, so I worked there for like 4 weeks before I had enough. I got a job offer to go into construction with solar to be an inverter tech, which was like, you don't get that job as your first like hands-on electrical job.
Yeah.
Like that's something you need like 2 years of experience before. But
you got lucky and got it.
But I can kind of talk my way around everything because I was dealing with solar. I was, we had commercial projects. I knew all the terminology, so I talked my way into this job out in Mojave on dude, these huge huge sites, bro. These huge sites.
Just like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Springbok 3 is like one of the fields, and it's like over 100 megawatts, which is like over like 300,000 panels, dude. It's a huge, like it's like miles long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I worked out there for like 10 months, and then I was in the National Guard as well. So I would do my training once a month, probably like 2-3 days, and then during the summer I'd have my annual training, which was like 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a month.
Yeah.
Well, this job that I got was, I kind of finagled my way out there in the desert. They're from Spain, and when I went to training, like shit started popping off in the desert. Like inverters were blowing up and stuff back, and so they cut us all loose. So I came back and there was no job, and I was like, dude, dang it. So got my son. I gotta work. So I got a full-time job with the Army. And I was doing like honor guard stuff, which is like military honors for fallen veterans. Mm-hmm. So I got to, that was a really humbling experience. You go and you see families mourning and stuff, and you get to fold the flag and present it to the family, give your condolences and stuff, and, give them make sure that someone has the right, that they're honored correctly, You do the 3-gun salute. Mm-hmm. And it was really beautiful. We had one of our soldiers, they, played the trumpet, so they were playing taps. It was live taps. So, dude, it was just, like, really honoring. And it was cool because I got to do it in my area, too. I got to do it here in California, like Central California, Bakersfield, L.A., the coast, like Central Coast, like SLO and Pismo and area. But I got to do...
And they'd send you over there to go in and work these ceremonies.
So, California National Guard. Each state has a National Guard.
Yeah.
And each state has a honor guard. Well, honor guard, I guess, section, I guess. But they have teams throughout the state, I guess, depending how big the state is. Yeah. California has 7 teams.
Dang.
Scattered, all the way down. So, but each team only has 3 or 4 people. So all these guys are like just running around helping each other out do these funeral services. Mm-hmm. So... yeah, you have the funeral homes will call up the honor guard or the National Guard, and they'll point them in the right direction. And they get a hold of us eventually, and they're like, "Hey, we have a veteran. The service is this date, and we put it on our schedule and we make sure that we're there."
That's dope. Yeah. Keep it real. That's real dope.
So like,
I didn't know it worked like I guess you never really think about how some things like that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it makes sense now that you say it, but that.
Because, we do active duty honors as well. It's just, like, if they die or, if a soldier passes away in service or in duty, then usually that active duty unit will, present honors.
Yeah.
Or do the military honors. But after they get out, the National Guard, that state will take care of
veterans.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So,
even at
they're busy, dude. So when I was doing this, like, we were busy, dude. Like, this was Monday through Sunday sometimes, but mostly Monday through Saturday. And like I said, we had to help each other out. So sometimes we would wake up at 3 a.m, drive all the way up to the Bay Area, do a couple services, and some services are like 2-3 hours sometimes. Yeah. But sometimes they're quick, but sometimes they're not. and you drive all the way out there, 5 hours, and then you got to drive home and go to SLO or Pismo the next morning. And dude, so you're like, it's
bouncing.
It's like an army schedule. You're getting 4 or 6 hours of sleep,
And running around.
Yeah, and then you got to make sure everything's pristine,
all the time.
Everything, and that's a hassle, man.
Dude, all
I
the
didn't
time.
like that. It was bugging. But I wanted to look right too, but it was just.
It's hard.
Yeah.
No, you're not lying. Especially when you're not sleeping. Like, it is hard to keep stuff that nice.
Yeah, and you're tired and you don't want to do it. You know, but
it makes you realize, like, oh man, makes you realize a lot. But like I said, no matter what, that's dope. That's something that I don't think a lot of people would do that or have the heart to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what makes me think, like, for somebody to put themselves over there to do something like that, you gotta, really be invested, because it's not easy to see death all the time like that.
Yeah. It's definitely different. You definitely see, like, some interesting things, like, in the military. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Interesting things, like, on throughout the whole spectrum of good and bad. You see a lot of things. And death is definitely one of them that you, like, see a lot and you don't expect to see it.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm just saying, like, just like people like you run into every day, right? And then the next day you hear, hey, Private so-and-so last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, you see death in the military for sure.
Well, and that's understandable. And you're right, because so many people pass away right now, more than we think. And when I used to drive ambulances around, you know how many times you have a day where you're just hearing people that were coding and stuff like that. Like, you just be like, the heck is going on today? Like,
yeah,
it's insane sometimes. You're blown away. You're just like, people are going like that right now. So it's definitely understandable, and definitely got to be understandable in something like that,
Yeah, the world is it's a crazy place right now, and I just, I'm religious, and, I just, the time's going to come one of these days, and I just, it's got to be ready for when that day comes.
Well, yeah. Whatever your higher power is to whoever, it's all about where you feel like you are, and where you want to be. And that's what it comes down to,
Yeah. Being happy.
Yeah.
It's the utmost what most people chase, you want to be happy.
Yeah.
Being happy is a good feeling,
So you sold off all the customers, got your job back, okay, working at the solar farm. Then that came back after National Guard. That was gone.
Yeah, that was gone. Okay, so now we're 2019. We're in 2019, and I get back from the National Guard. And then I have some friends that are selling insurance. I'm like, dude, I could hop in that real quick. Like, sales, customers, people, talking. All right.
Easy.
Yeah, all right, I can do that. So I start studying to sell health and life insurance. And, I go and I take my state test and I pass it. But it's a state license, and whatever I was doing with legally, that case was prohibiting me to get the state license until the case was settled.
Oh, yeah.
So I just spent a month, studying, getting ready to go sell some policies, and I can't even do it. So I'm like, shoot, okay, all right, back to the solar fields, right? I'm like, all right, dang it. Until that stuff's resolved, I'm gonna go back to work, get my hands dirty. So then, oh, you know what? Okay, so, dude, they can get this. So I go down to San Diego, getting ready to get this, start this job with this big company. I'm not even gonna name drop, but just big construction company. Dude, they make hundreds of millions, like almost $billions a year in revenue, like over $750,000. Anyways, and they weren't going with what they were saying. They were contradicting the pay from the emails to when I got there. And I had like housing arrangements and stuff. And I was getting paid like $6 an hour less, and per diem was cut like $50. So like almost half the per diem, and you know,
hourly.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, it doesn't make sense for me to come out here.
Yeah.
So dude, I went out there and I had a house for a month. You know, I already had bought it, the B&B, for the month.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chilled. I was just like, whatever. So I'll chill out there for a month, or not a month, dude. I'm tripping. It was like 3 weeks. But it felt like a long time because I went out there to go work. So I went out there like a week prior before my start date, and then I was chilling for like next 2 weeks. You know, I went out there for the first day, and I was going to sign the contracts and stuff, and it just wasn't the same thing. I was like, dude.
Like, nah, not worth it.
Anyway, so I enjoyed my time in San Diego. I really did. I was like running and stuff and enjoying, and it was during COVID too. So like there was nobody out on the streets.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like running through the hills and like, you know, enjoying, you know, nature, I guess, and the city. So I enjoyed myself, and then I came back and I had to get back into customer service again. So just real quick, because I gotta be paying the bills. You know, I mean, I had money to where I can, you know, help support my kid and stuff when I was in San Diego. And then I came back because I was like, all right, well, if I'm not going to work in San Diego, I need to obviously go back home to Bakersfield, the Valley. And so I started serving sushi and stuff, and I got into solar sales. So now I started selling. Yeah, dude.
You can't zoom past that.
Yeah.
You started serving sushi. You can't. You can't just go. I started serving sushi, but then I went you started serving sushi where?
I'd Show You Sushi.
Show You
Sushi on Brimhall and Callaway in Bakersfield. So I came back from San Diego, and my buddy was working at a sushi shop, and me and him love sushi. Like that was our thing. We'd go get sushi, and he was working at the sushi restaurant that we loved so much, right? And he's like, dude, you gotta come just serve sushi. You love sushi. You get free sushi on lunch. You know, whatever. Like, you know, and you make good tips. And I was like, whatever, dude. I was burned about the job situation in San Diego. I felt stupid, you know. I told my whole family I was going down to San Diego. I told everyone I was all pumped up.
All happy.
Just to come back and get played pretty much by this big company. And they just thought I was going to push over pretty much.
And be like, yeah, I'll do it.
So I was like kind of, you know, in a little hole, you know, feeling down on myself. And then I had to take a sushi serving job. So like... Dude, it's like this roller coaster, you know, of like, I got a job, I don't got a job, I got a job, don't got a job. And then constantly trying to keep this image of, you know, because, you know, dude, that stuff weighs on you when you're a man and you have to put money on the table. Yes. And then you have like, you know, your job stripped from you. And then you got to resort to all these different things. And then people are like, oh, what is this guy doing? You know, he's jumping around. But really, I'm just trying to make sure, like, I'm trying to make sure I'm making ends meet.
Any way possible.
Any way possible.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm going to, like, I'm so confident in myself that, like, I don't care what I have to do, but I'm going to get what I deserve and what I'm aiming for and what I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be great in whatever I do, whether it be racing, whether it be football, whether it be, you know, electrician, whatever I do, I'm going to put pride in it, you know? So I'm going to be good at it, and I can, you know, say, hey, yeah, that is what I do, but I do that shit great.
Yeah.
But,
hell yeah.
So anyway, so then my buddy was like, come serve sushi, you know, make great tips, and then I was already, you know, I had connections in solar, and so my buddy was like, dude, you should just sell solar on the side. You know, you work part-time serving, you know, we'll go knock doors and, you know, generate some leads somehow, some way, and, you know, get some extra money going in. So I started doing that, you know. I was like, you know, as I'm serving sushi, I can, you know, let people know, hand them out, because, you know, I was working for a couple different solar companies that I had connections with from cleaning. So, you know, I gave them cards, you know, legitimate, you know, this is who I'm representing right now, and did that. Then after the sushi, I was like, you know what, because sales was cool, but dude, I still didn't have my situation resolved. Yeah. So I needed to travel. The guys wanted me to travel and be, you know, I needed some things that I didn't have. Yeah. For the job requirements. So I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna go work for a union. My uncle has been an electrician since he was started the apprenticeship, electrical apprenticeship, when he was like 17, 18, and he's just been in it for like 30 years. So he's like, look, you know, you need to come just do electrical. Just do electrical. Work. Stay in the construction, but get in a union, get a pension, get a retirement. You know, you'll have money to do whatever you need on the side, but just stay in the union. You know, union. And I was like, all right, whatever, uncle, I got you. I'll do it. Like, make you happy. at this time, we're 2000 end of 2020.
Okay.
Still COVID.
Yeah.
Dang it. My mom.
Dang it.
My mom. When was it? End of 2019, she moved to Kentucky with the rest of her family. My dad's still in Oregon right now, but we're on good terms though now. But
okay, so your mom moved with the rest of her family. Is that where her family's from?
Yeah, my mom,
Okay.
both my parents are from Kansas and Kentucky. My mom's
nice.
from Kentucky, my dad's from Kansas, and somehow both their families ended up in Bakersfield.
Yeah, I don't know this.
And then
So weird.
my dad and mom moved to Long Beach. I was born in Long Beach and lived
Okay.
there for only like 4 or 5 years, and then I started kindergarten my first year in Bakersfield.
Okay.
And then I did the rest of my school here.
Yeah.
So families all scattered out, brothers at college. I was
Louisiana.
I was making it work, renting rooms and stuff. Throughout all those jobs that I flooded you guys with. But then, so where we at? So mom's moved away. I got my uncle still though, and he tells me about this job in Huntington. So I go and start this pipe fitting job. Now I'm laying pipe.
Now
I'm
you're
getting
laying
paid
the
to lay
pipe.
pipe.
Paying to lay the pipe. All right.
So I had some experience in that. No pun intended. And just like electrical, it kind of correlated a little bit. But so I went and started working for the union down in Santa Ana, and had a project in Huntington and worked there for a year. And while I was there, I started the job. I had one of my brothers, Kev. He was in Bakersfield. We've been going through it. Life. Life tends to hit you guys at the same time sometimes, and then, you guys both
bounce back.
So me and my boy Kev were going through some, lady trouble. That during that time, me and my baby mama split up.
So okay, that kind of.
So that's kind of it started. We split up in 2019, I believe. But it was kind of slow. It was like one of those things, like, hey, like, we're gonna work it out slowly,
Mm-hmm.
So like I was going through roller coasters of emotions like throughout the first part of the breakup, right?
Oh yes, I know.
So me and my boy Kev, we'd hang out and we'd start drinking, man, and we just kind of like go through it, vent, and we like start freestyling. We're like, dude, we need to like get I got so much so much to say, so like whatever. So we just started listening to beats, and then at that time, my boy Kev was working. It was 2019, 2020, so COVID was just hitting. My buddy Kev got a job at this call center.
Mm-hmm.
And met this guy named Prosper.
That sounds so familiar, Prosper.
Because I have some songs coming out with Prosper.
Oh, okay.
And he does music. He introduced me and Kevin into music, really. And that was at the same time me and Kevin were messing around.
Are we talking about Qualls?
Qualls.
No, they never.
No. But his name's Quan. But anyways,
I was talking about a last name.
Oh no. But so Quan Prosper becomes friends with Kevin through the job, right? Okay. And me and Kevin are dealing with our depression, I guess you could say, or just roller coaster emotions, lady troubles, whatever. Dealing with that on the back end and like freestyling to like vent, like to feel better, to like get stuff off our chest and like just get through the day, and then so he becomes friends with Prosper. Prosper actually been doing music before, like a couple years before he met Kevin. He went to
was he on a show?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's done concerts and stuff, but and he's like been an engineer and stuff, and he was gonna go to school. Wow. He was gonna go to Hollywood and go to what is it? MU music. MI or something. I don't know, the Music Institute. Anyways, the Music Institute in Hollywood. Yeah, I probably butchered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, Prosper. But anyway, so we I met Prosper through Kevin, and we became friends, and then we like Kevin was like, dude, you gotta meet Prosper. You guys like connect on the same level. Like you guys are both like spiritual and think the same. You guys both have kids. Like same mindset. You guys are gonna hit it off, and we did. Me and Prosper are like brothers now. We are brothers, and so he goes off to Hollywood to go get his. I don't know if he got a degree. His degree in engineering, but I don't know if they actually get a degree or if it's just like a certificate or something. But anyways, he goes to school, does his thing, and he gets an internship at a studio in Hollywood, and he's managing it. He's helped managing it.
Wow.
It was a nice studio. So as I'm in that job in Huntington, I have Prosper, who's finished school, and now he's manager at this studio in Hollywood. So now my only friend is freaking 45 minutes away at this studio in Hollywood. So, of course, I'm going to be going to the studio every night to hang out with my buddy, you know, because I'm in Huntington, renting a room from some random person. Mm-hmm. My uncle, he had his own place, but didn't want to rent a room to me. But he was like, I plugged you with a job, but I don't really want you living with me. But,
don't live with me.
I was like, whatever, all right, likewise. Nah, I was kidding. But I was like, all right, whatever. I was kind of burned, but whatever. So, I'm at the studio every night. I started investing in myself, and I'm like, all right, now I'm going to take this, like, serious. I'm going to start writing some music. And I did, and so I just started, like, that was my hobby. Like, I was just in the studio, like, 4 days out of the week at least. And I'd go back to Bakersfield, on the weekends. Yeah. So, and so I was renting a room in Huntington, renting a room in Bakersfield. Because I gotta have, when I go home on the weekends, I'm seeing my son, so my son's gotta have somewhere to sleep. It can't be a couch.
Right.
So
of course.
Yeah, it can't be a couch. Like, what the heck? No, I gotta at least have a room and a bed, for my son, man.
Of course.
And shout out my son's mom's family and stuff. Because I don't have my family here to help support. So thank God, like they have such a great family that everyone's together and willing to, They live right by the school, so everything's just really convenient, and like communication is great. So like that makes it easy for me to go off and work and still be able to just contribute financially, and then it'd be easy to communicate with my son because they're cooperative as well. So like
that's cool, man.
That makes it all easy when I got shit that I'm messing up with.
Yeah.
But so shout out to them for real. So I'm in the studio, 4 days out of the week, going home on the weekend, seeing my son, going back, working, 8 to 10 hours at this union pipe fitting job, hating it. But what was like nice about it was I'm in Huntington Beach, man. Mm-hmm. I'm in Huntington, like weather's great every day. There's, good looking women. I love the beach. I love to just go out there and just like literally lay down and like listen to music and just, I'm very, like I'm very content by myself. Mm-hmm. So like I can just like go on walks, chill all day by myself.
Yeah.
And just like, well, I mean, honestly, I'll like I said, I'm spiritual. I pray a lot, and I can spend the whole day just like out by myself and just like talking to God and kind of figuring things out, like where I want to go and stuff. And that's where I kind of like find peace, is honestly by myself.
Yeah. Honestly, that's keep it real. Okay, so kind of like what you're saying is when I ended my last relationship is what I had to do too, is I kind of had to find peace with myself in order to realize where I was, you know what I mean? And a lot of people were like, oh, that's cool, and didn't really understand it, because a lot of people, I'm not trying to say this in the wrong way, but I don't think have really experienced the whole, hey, you need to be by yourself for a little bit type thing.
Yeah.
Because in a sense, I feel like it's almost inbred into us when we're young that we're going to be in a relationship for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people don't think like, hey, you got to, live apart first. It's, hey, we got to find who we want to live with. Be with them for the rest of our life, and then learn how to live with them.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, you need to learn how to live by yourself and do your own thing. And then you need to learn how to cohabitate while doing your own thing with somebody else that does their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pretty much kind of like grow up first.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I still haven't done it.
And I mean, it's tough, like even like for young love, because like you don't understand, like unless you're a mature young person, but most of us weren't. But
definitely not.
You know, you don't realize that thing, and then you know, so you see when I don't know where I'm trying to go with this, but like you just don't recognize those things when you're younger, you know. So like it's hard to grow with someone and love them and recognize them and stuff all at the same time and realize what's going on. You kind of see it for what it.
You don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because
or like you just see it differently. You know, you see how it.
And as
is.
we're younger, we're learning what these pictures are. I feel like, you know what I mean. Like you don't necessarily have the understanding of what goes on in the real world because you
right, or just like you're saying, you don't have that perspective yet.
Yeah, so understandable. But yes, it does push you to be somebody different at the same time.
Yeah,
because
I mean, you
going through something like that and then learning how to be by yourself is where I, like you said, I kind of spiritually found myself and was like, oh, okay, this is who you are, and you know, and you gotta love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Yeah.
You know. So, but that's cool. So now you found yourself. You've been in the studio every night.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, I found a way to express myself. You know, and I enjoy it. And I'm around good people. You know, and that was one thing that I loved about the studio, the Mike House in West Hollywood.
Good people.
Ran by Beyond Average.
They are
the label.
That's the best thing.
Beyond Average ran by Raj Will. Man, he he took Quan in, gave him the internship, or took Prosper and gave him the internship, and then allowed me to come in and be a part of that every day. You know, I was around a lot of good talent. I was vocal coaches, percussion producers who have won platinum plaques and stuff.
Yeah.
And all these crazy awards I can't even quote because I'm a butcher it so bad. But there's there's plaques all over the wall. You know, you're looking at all these accolades and stuff, and you're just around all these people, and they're all genuine. You know, they're all like, oh, what's up, Phil? You know, how was your day? You know, what's going on? Like, bro, we gotta work on that track we were doing last time. You know, like we gotta do this, and it's like. Heck yeah, bro! Like let's do this. Like let's have fun. You know, we're all just having fun. I'm having a good time. You know, I'm making it by. I go back to my room. You know, that I'm renting, and I don't talk to any of the roommates. I'm just like, all right, whatever. You know, go to work, go back to studio. I'm just trying to get back to the studio as soon as possible. Yeah, because like that was like during the week, and I'm not gonna lie, there was points in time where like I felt like it was hard to get a hold of my son. So like in when you work all day and you're away, even that like 1 or 2 missed phone calls, you're like, dude, like all you want to do all day was like talk to your kid, and you just can't. It's just like, like it just weighs heavy.
Yep.
So then I'm like, all right, gotta get to the studio. Like there's nothing for me to do. Technically I'm out of town. I'm working. I'm away from home. You know, I'm away from my son, my family. So I'm like, there's nothing for me to do in this room. I need to just go to the studio, or at least just be there.
I need to start preparing my future.
Yeah, really, but even if I wasn't going there to work, I would just go there to hang out and like just be around it, because like I've always liked music. When I was racing, my friends, the Glannies I mentioned earlier, they all play guitar, so I started playing guitar, and when I was in elementary school, I did 2 talent shows. I sang when I was so I always had that little passion for it.
Yeah.
My dad was always singing like 70s and 80s and like a little bit of 60s, like
good music,
like rock and like. But my dad loved Elton John, so he'd be singing Elton John. It was crazy. He'd be singing Elton John. So me and him would both be singing and like. I'll always be singing, so like I always had a passion like for singing.
Just doing it.
So now that I got to get behind a mic and like put my own lyrics down on my own, not my own beat, but I get a producer or get a track off YouTube, we all do it, and and put down some music that I that was coming from my heart and that was mine, and something that's timeless. It's gonna last forever. It's something that my children's children are gonna see, and that's how I really think of it. Like everyone thinks like, oh, like what's gonna be said about me like when I'm gone, or like what's gonna be there to tell a story. Like my story's gonna be told, and I'm gonna make sure I tell it, and like every stage of my life, like every track that I write, like there's some that I feature on that like don't really have that much heart behind it, but like every track that I put out, like I have a story behind every verse and every song and everything.
that's what I was gonna ask you. Is like, what in your songs, what gives you the most motivation to lay down some lyrics?
Man, just any overwhelming feeling, honestly. You know, life is a roller coaster, and we always have to be, you know, just stay consistent with who we want to be and what we want out of it, because, you know, the challenges that we go through are what's gonna like mold us into the person that we're ultimately supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So I try not to get too down when anything happens. I'm really working on being aware of my feelings, mm-hmm. as far as like happiness and like sadness, or like even just like question, you know, just like, you know, anxiousness or anxiety. You know, I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm anxious, all right, I'm getting sad, like where is this stemming from? So now that like I kind of like recognize those things, I'm like, all right, you know, like I recognize my feelings. I'm like, all right, now how do I like, you know, I'll just express it. Like sometimes most of the time lately, it's been like those overwhelming where like I just don't know what to do like next.
Yeah.
Or like I'm feeling so blessed at this moment, like, or you have like a realization of like, you know what, that's why this was supposed to happen that way. Mm-hmm. Or like, yes. Dang, I really prayed for this, you know, I said this was going to happen and now it's happening.
Yeah.
Or I see things unfolding. So it really just those overwhelming realizations is what gives me inspiration to write.
Nice. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, it can be spur of the moment.
It could be spur of the moment, and then I write down something in my notes, and then I feed off it later on.
Yeah, and that's perfect. You know what I mean? Because when you have an idea, sometimes that idea is right at that moment. Because if you're anything like me, mine's like, I'll get an idea, and then if you tell me something 2 seconds later, then my idea might be just gone.
Yeah.
It just might be just
and so that happens. Gone. That happens a lot. I'm sure that happens with a lot of artists. Like you write down something, and you can't figure out where you were coming from before, or you put a track down, like, you know, you put a track down one day, maybe you come back to work on it again the next day, and you just don't feel it again.
Yeah.
Or you write a whole hook or a whole verse, and then you go to put it on the mic, and it just don't sound right.
This doesn't sound right.
And now you're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm
gonna restart this.
I'm off the top right now. I'm whatever is feeling good, just off the top. Yeah. You know, just go with it.
And especially if you're recording it, maybe just catch something perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes, you start playing on the mic and you realize that you can hit that note, you know? And that's a cool feeling, you know? Yeah. Especially when you're just learning, you know, and, you know, I didn't sing on a microphone too much when I was younger. You know, I wasn't in, like, the choir or, like, the, you know, church choir or anything like that. Yeah, so I didn't know all the things I could hit. And you start practicing, obviously. You try new things and you want to get better at them, so you practice. Mm-hmm. You look up exercises and voice exercises and start. You got to do them. You know,
just like
only way to do it is
practice makes
get
perfect.
Into it. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So it's been an exciting journey, and I'm enjoying myself.
So you got a show coming out, right, in May?
Yeah, I have a show coming up here in Bakersfield, May 14th.
Where at?
It is at, it is held by Indigo House Records. It's at a recording studio. I can't think of the name right now off the top of my head, but they have a little warehouse in the back that they're going to hold the venue. It's a good little spot. You can fit probably like 200-300 people in there, so it's gonna be packed out. We got a lot of cool artists out there. Got Forever 100 coming out, and he always puts on a show.
Yeah.
Indigo House Records is ran by an artist, Tenfold, and he's good at finding talent. I mean, he found me.
Yeah.
He found me, put me. He's letting the city know what's coming on. He's got the promotion's called the show is called Under the Radar, and this is the second series of it. First one went crazy, so the second one's about to go even crazy. Harder. Yeah, even harder.
Yeah. So you're opening for.
I'm not opening. I'm like mid-set, or not mid-set, but you know, mid-set list. Prime time, like right at 9:00. So,
ooh, got that good.
Yeah, not too late, not too early. We can, you know, right there, everyone's feeling good, you know, ready to turn up. So,
yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, man.
So if you guys want to be out there, remember that we gonna probably post it up on the Facebook so y'all can know. You know what I mean?
I got some unreleased music that I'm gonna be playing. I got an EP coming out. It's called Feels EP. It's a little 3-track, and I got some good artists on there too. I got my boy Prosper, who we've been talking about so much.
Yeah.
My brother, my mentor in this shit, and then I got my boy Rev. Rev Ray, he gonna be on the EP too. So
okay. So they're gonna be out there doing their thing.
You know, 2 different voices, 2 different vibes, 3 different vibes, I should say, because you know I got my own thing too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be crazy. I'm really excited for those songs. You know, like a roller coaster of life, you get roller coaster of emotions in this music. You know, I'm versatile, man. I you know, every single song I drop is different. You know, coming out
and
keep
different. It real. When I was listening to your songs, like I tried to kind of pinpoint like who you sounded like. You know what I mean? And then I'd hear one and I was like, oh, he kind of, you know, it reminds me of this kind of song. And then I'd hear another one, I'd be like, well, but this one reminds me of this artist. You know what I mean? Right. So it was really hard to pinpoint where you were, and I can't even say it because
it's not gonna stop either. Because I haven't even found my voice yet. You know, I'm going off of what I enjoy. You know, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I got goals I want to go for in music, but this is something that makes me feel good. This is something that, you know, I put a track down and I listen to that. I'm like, you know what?
That sounds good.
That makes me feel good, you know.
Yeah.
Like I can relate. I can relive this moment through this song, you know. When I play and I, you know, drive down the street, or I'm, you know, just chilling at my house, just chilling, and I play that music. I'm like, dude.
Is one of your new songs the one that Nick was playing on his? I think
so I've dropped a couple songs recently. I dropped most recent one is Chains. That one goes hard. That one's probably like my most like upbeat, hyphy song.
That's the one on the top of the list right now, right?
No, the one on the top of the list right now that's doing the best is called "Tired of Trying," featuring Foreign Forest.
So
that my best song. Well, not my best song. I shouldn't say that because all my songs are great.
All
my songs are great.
Really are.
But that's the one that has most views right now.
Okay, so what's the one? I know it has like 9,000 views right now.
That one's probably, I think that one's like Nothing to Hide. But that one's featuring Foreign Force as well.
Because I'm trying to think. It's
my top ones are, you know, shout out Foreign. That's another guy who's actually mentored me a lot. You know, Bakersfield native. I used to skateboard with Foreign when we were in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And he got into music in high school. And when I started getting into it, I had to hit him up. You know, like, bro, like, you know, put me on some game. Yeah. And he literally took me underneath his wing. You know, we got 3 songs out, and Nothing to Hide, Tired of Trying, and Voices, and they all go crazy, you know. And he's got his own vibe, and you know, he's got, I think, like 8 or 10 songs with over 1 million views and stuff. So Foreign's doing his thing, man. He's doing, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Foreign Forest, look him up, man.
Yeah.
Along with Prosper and Rev Ray, all the other great artists I'm mentioning, make sure you tap in.
Right.
But yeah, so those are the ones that are kind of doing the best because Foreign has a very loyal fan base.
Yeah.
I think he's got like 20,000 followers on Instagram right now. And that's really low, actually, for like these big artists. But for the numbers that he does, you just see how loyal his fan base is. And I do envy it. Yeah, absolutely. I look at that, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of how I want my journey as an artist to be as well. I don't want this huge fan base of people who like me for this image. You know, I want people to grow with me and see where I came from and understand like who I am as a person. That way, because once you understand who I am and what I've been through and like my perspective on life, and then you go to listen to my music, it's gonna be a game changer. Because really, when you listen to it, people are like, "Oh man, that's not really something like," because it's real music. You know, I'm not out here rapping about my chains. I'm not rapping about like, you know, how much I spent on all of it. I'm not rapping about like, you know, like going to the club and all these girls shaking their butts and stuff, you know, and throwing money. You know, as much as like, you know, I like to do that too, but like, that's not what I'm trying to leave my legacy behind. You know,
that's not the image you're portraying.
Right. Like, yeah, I'll go out and have fun, but I'm not gonna like, you know, broadcast that like that. I'm not.
No need to.
Yeah, I don't need to put that
down
in history.
No need to flaunt that. It's just, you know, like you guys can guess whatever you guys want, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't flaunt what, you know, I got. It's just
because bottom line is I'm trying to tell my story,
and
you know, I want my story to be told right, and yeah, there's gonna be times in there where you you're like, all right, you know, Phil went out and have fun. Phil, you know, he was still a dude, and you know, but I'm still a father first and foremost. Exactly. So I still gotta set that, you know, that standard that, and you know, you gotta set the bar high because my son's got great aspirations too. So I gotta keep up with him. I can't let him get too confident and, you know, think he outdoing dad too much. So I gotta he keeps me hungry.
We'll teach him how to outdo dad one day.
I'm teaching him how to, but it just puts more pressure on myself. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold him back because I'm in fear of him being greater than me.
Right.
You know? Can't do that. That'd be injustice. That'd be selfish. You know?
Yeah.
Can't.
Keep it real.
And there's parents that do that, dude.
Oh yeah.
And there's parents who do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep it real. There's parents that do tons of things. It's hard to judge, and I even mentioned this on one of my podcasts, but it's just getting into the mindset of somebody that's doing stuff like that is so impossible, and then to think about what they're doing to their kids or, you know, to the people around them, you're like, it's like, come on, man, like, you gotta think about these things.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the world is crazy, you know, and, you know, kids are doing, I mean, I had a kid when I was, you know, 17, but I feel like kids nowadays, and I'm 24, I'm still, you know, young, and I say kids, but I was a parent at 17, okay, so, like, I have a grown-up mindset and perspective. These kids these days are crazy. They are freaking crazy, man. They are doing some wild stuff. I mean, remember 2 or 3 years ago, the whole Tide Pod thing? Like, why would who would ever think about doing that? That's ridiculous, okay? And then...
somebody on some drugs.
You know... we should have seen this coming when the Harlem Shake started.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
That was like one of the first like really super viral video.
Viral too.
Well, not viral video, but like it was like, I don't know. I feel like that was like one of the first game changers where like everyone was doing it. You know.
It hit quick. It just it overtook really quick. Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. It's like those little one hitter quitters with all the dancing and stuff like that. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Is you just find something and it just happens.
Yeah.
You know? But now they're coming back, so. But hey, we are at that time. So I'm going to say, let them know where to find you and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at Phil, PHIL_BED. It stands for Built Entirely Different. That's going to be coming soon. So stay tuned to that. That's our group. It's got myself, Phil, Huncho Strick. That's H3S. Look him up on Apple Music and Spotify. Prosper. That's exclamation point. Prosper with the S is the dollar sign. Find him on Apple Music. They got an EP out called State to State. And we all fall under Built Entirely Different. I'm Phil, exclamation point Phil. Apple Music, SoundCloud, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, all that.
All the good stuff. I will be posting him up on my Facebook. He does have a show coming out. Guys, go check it out. You know what I mean? I'll probably be out there with you guys, so come check me out. Got myself a ticket right here. So Under the Radar, Volume 2, okay? Come. Go check it out. Let's go. So let's go out there. We'll all be out there together. But you can also find me at, all the good stuff. Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Twitter. Yeah, I don't get on there very much. But Twitter. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Check me out. Search up 2Ps Pod. You know the name. You've seen it. You hear it. Search me up. This episode, remember, was brought to you by Porterville Wholesales. If you are looking to remodel your home or do whatever home improvements you need, go check out my boy Ray. I'm telling you. Porterville Wholesale.
Tap in.
Tap in, because he's got nail guns. He's got handguns. Not handguns, my bad.
He might though.
Nail guns, he might. Nail guns. Hand tools is what I meant to say. He's got, what are those? Impact drills. He's got regular drills, like the cordless ones if you need them. He's got all the good stuff. Compressors, paint sprayers, good stuff.
Does he have Milwaukee tools?
The what?
Milwaukee tools?
Yes, actually, he's got all the brands.
He's got
Bosch,
name brand. He's got
Bosch,
all the top
Craftsman,
name brands.
D-Wall, all the good stuff,
Let's go.
He is at 1902 West North Grand in Porterville, California. Or just go to my Facebook profile. Go to my Facebook group. You can order online. Don't even got to leave the house. I know everybody loves that.
Straight to the door.
So, hey, thank you for coming out today, my man.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, you guys have a great night. Talk to y'all soon.
Tap in, Phil.